Howdy folks, this morning I'm going to be using Wild West Shaving Company Aces and Eights, and the scent on this one here is Bourbon, Vanilla, and Lavender. Show you what the texture of the soap looks like. I've already scooped some out, as you can tell right there, and like most of the rest of it, it's relatively soft. Got my trusty alum block, complete with rubber bands so I don't drop it. Witch Hazel, Humphreys, Lilac. Going to follow the shave up with some aftershave from Yulay, and figure this is probably something that you might find at a card game, would be some cigar smoke. And shaver of the day is a single edge. By the way of focus, it's a dynamic. It's all aluminum. It's got a pivoting head, and it's got half of a DE blade in there. And the blade of the day, I have not used this particular one. I've used 7 o'clock, but I have not used one from what they refer to as a salon pack. And the edge on this one here is supposed to be Permasharp stainless. Evidently the dogs must have noticed something outside. I've got the lather whipped up here in a bowl that's got grooves in the bottom. You're not going to be able to see it because I've got quite a bit of lather whipped up in there. And this is a vintage brush from Century. Natural bristle. This is what they refer to as new old stock. And been working with it, trying to get the knot broke in, and I think it's working pretty well. Had no problem whipping up the lather on this one here. I've already put a hot towel to the face. Bloom water, as you can tell, some of it I got lathered up there. Go ahead and get started here. So far, see, this is what, the third soap from Russell, and I haven't had any of his soaps, how you say, not want to lather up. I have whipped them up in at least what I would call 2 different fashions. One would be wet, where it would not be as, I guess you might say, as thick as this. You can tell that it's wet and how it gets applied, and it's a, I guess you might say, a thinner lather. And I normally, when I'm shaving with a shave head or a straight razor, that's the kind of lather I like to whip up, because I guess you might say it gives my soap the best chance to be slick when I'm using shave head or a straight razor. And it just seems to work better for me when I whip it up wet. But I don't have to have it near as wet with a DE or a single edge. So I guess you might say I've been testing both kind of lathers that I might be using to see how the soap's going to be working out. I can smell it. You can kind of tell this is kind of liking this knot. I wasn't too sure with it being as small as it is and as tall as it is, how it would work out, and it works out pretty good. And it didn't take that long to lather up the soap either. Always wondered how some of these knots, how they managed to, how they work, being brand new back then. This shaver, Focus Dynamic. This is a mild shaver, in my opinion. But if this is the first time you've seen one of my videos, I usually, with the exception of September, you know, single edge, I typically shave with a shavette, so the kind of blade feel I'm used to having on my face is maybe different than what you're used to. And this shaver here, in my opinion, is a mild one. It's a darn near effortless shave, which is not too bad for a Monday morning. You can really work with this razor in trying to obtain a, I guess you might say, a very close shave. And at least my experience has been I don't get any irritation with it. And due to the fact it's got a pivoting head, you don't have to worry too much about your angle. That's the part I mean about being effortless. It's not going to say that you can't cut yourself with it, but in my opinion, you really have to work at it. Because I've even shaved with it with a feather in there and worked at getting a very close shave. Still got no irritation, no nicks, no cuts. It was a really nice shave. That's another one of those, if you like these kind of shavers that are relatively mild, this is one of those kind of shavers that, you know, if you had only one, you can make do with this one, because it really is a smooth shaver. I can see somebody transitioning from a cartridge razor to one of these and probably not had too much trouble with it. Once they figure out the pressure, which, yeah, I even tried to put, pressure in behind it to, you know, give it a good test. In other words, if a person's technique is not quite up to speed, what kind of shave would you get with it? In my opinion, I ran it through its paces when I shaved with it for 5 days straight, and it's a great shaver. You're not going to have the same shave feel if you're looking for one that has a blade feel like a gem style blade. In my opinion, this gives you a much more comfortable shave for somebody that's not used to that kind of blade feel. In other words, somebody transitioning from a cartridge or just starting out, they would feel more comfortable with a razor like this. It's a really nice one. I say it's all aluminum. It has the pivot pin I think is stainless steel outside of that, and I think maybe these posts right up here, but you know, for the most part it's all aluminum. And it comes in different colors. I'm not sure what colors are available right now, but at one point in time, black, gold, I think it was gold, silver, red, green, a lot of the colors that the Focus Slim came in, which is another fine shaver. Focus Slim is a shavette, by the way, in case you didn't know. I did use a derby blade in this shaver. I could tell the difference in between this one and a sharp, not a sharp, it was a sharp feather blade. But was it a difference to, such a difference that I would be afraid to use a feather blade? No, not at all. It's still a very smooth, comfortable shave. This would be one of those razors, if you have it, you gotta, if you're traveling, as long as I would not trust it taking it through an airport, but in other words, you're in your vehicle traveling, you're not sure about what the water is going to be like in your location you're headed to, this would be a good shaver to take, because that's the way you're not worried about irritation or anything like that. In other words, it's just a shaver you won't have to worry about whether it's going to work out for you while you're traveling. And the fact that it only uses a half a DE blade, even if you were to take a 5-pack and use one half of the blade each day, you're looking at 10 shaves. And I'm quite sure if you took a feather, you can get several several shaves. This kind of shave for me is just a really relaxing shave. And you kind of tell that the head does rather well adjusting because of the pivot head. There is some feedback on the against the grain. Didn't really notice on the across the grain or with the grain. Not like it is right now. Soap's working out rather well. Did make a comment about Russell soaps, excuse me, since he's just starting out. If he keeps up with it, it'll be interesting to see how it evolves. Like most artisans, after you follow them for when they first start out, their first formula, if you will, after they've been in it for a few years, is different than what they're using now. They make some tweaks along the way, things they've picked up, learned. I'd have to say this is a pretty good start. And for me, I really like the scents. And I like his characters that he chooses to put on his soaps. It's about like if you've seen Strike Gold Shave, and he has a what I call a presidential line. It's a luxury line of soaps, fit for a president, in other words. And he chooses different presidents as he makes his soaps. And I think that's pretty cool. And it's not meant to be political or anything like that. He's just saying that his soaps, he feels like, is a luxury line fit for a president. Yeah, this is a good shave. That is one, like I said, this is the third soap, and every time my my face feels moisturized. It doesn't feel dried out. I think Williams is one that has a tendency to dry my face out. Considering what Williams is, locally I can pick it up for $1.29. It's a hard puck, lasts a good long while. For what it is, it's a good soap. At that price point, $1.29. I don't know if there's anything out there that can touch it. At that price point, it's but it is a learning curve, learning how to lather it. It took me a good long while to figure that one out before I got decent at it. Now I have no problem with it. Gonna follow this up with the alum block now. I know last time remember correctly, I don't think I had one shave where it came back and I had any stinging. Even with the feather blade. Yes, none. I'm telling you, this is a smooth shaver. If you got somebody that's young in your family starting out, this may not be a bad place to start. This way they're not scared off by the aggressive blade. My youngest son is 13 and used him on a twist to open Gillette super speed and flare tip, and he did rather well, and you could tell they got no irritation or anything like that, so he got a good start. Witch hazel. My intentions are at some point in time when he starts shaving on a regular basis, because he's only shaved I think twice now. He's still young. It's just something he was wanting to start to do just to get the experience, what it's all about, I guess you might say. And figure he's going to end up with this shaver. I may have to buy another one for myself, but figure this will be a very good one for him to start out with. I don't know about everybody else's kids, but mine seem to be pretty busy doing whatever, even though they're in their room, but they're busy. I'm busy right now, they say. This has witch hazel in it. Does not have any alcohol. So if a person wanted to use Yulay's aftershave and forego the witch hazel due to the fact this has witch hazel in it, you could do that. It depends on the personal preference. But boy, I tell you what, this scent, it's perfect for the idea of a card game. It's cigar smoke, and if you like cigar smoke, you'll like this. You'll like this aftershave. This smells great. I'm getting some more. And I have to say, it does make it leaves your face feeling really moisturized, not dried out at all. I guess you might say that skin food is definitely in there. Man, this feels good. I have a feeling it's going to be a good day today. Starting out right. Russell's Wild West Shaving. I'll put the link down below for Facebook. That's where you can find him at. Shaver of the day with a half a blade. This was a focus dynamic with a pivoting head. And in the picture, if you caught it, here's the stand. You don't necessarily have to have this stand for this razor. This will be my first stand that I bought for a particular razor. This right here is to help you load. There's a video there at the website. It does a good job showing you how you can use this to load and offload your blade if you wanted to. Didn't cost a whole lot in my opinion, so I went ahead and decided to go ahead and get the stand. And I have to say, this Permasharp stainless from Gillette, 7 o'clock, salon packed. It worked out pretty well. And matter of fact, I got it right over here. It comes in it's a double wrap package. There's the other half of the blade right there. Worked out pretty well. Had a great shave. Hope everybody is doing well. Stay safe and smooth shaves to you.